Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be taking a look at another freeware route available on the Steam Workshop. This is another one of those fun, really fictional routes that really fits for those of us that like short lines, heritage operations and such. Delllyn Heritage Railway Museum. I assume that I am saying that correctly. I do not know. But this is the page for it in the Steam Workshop. It's a pretty neat one. It makes use of a lot of older assets that most of us probably already have and have had for a long time, which gives it an older route feel without a doubt, but it also makes it pretty easy to have all the requirements to avoid the copious amount of milk bottles. So yeah, let's take a look at it today. It's pretty short. It's only a few miles long. It's got a couple of little flag stops in between point A to point B with nice servicing facilities at both ends for steam. If you prefer running steam, I believe the other end might have a diesel refuel point. I'm not certain. But it's just kind of a fun one. Fun-sized. Good for these tank locomotives and whatnot. Smaller tendered locomotives. With a pretty fair amount of detail. Here's our end of the line. It kind of goes off into nowhere. Given the heavy usage of older assets, it's got a lot of detail, which is not half bad. This route would look really quite nice if one were to take the time to swap out a lot of these trees with Vulcan products. Vulcan VP. Or even the AP vegetation pack if you have it. This would look really, really good. But given the usage of older assets, it does look pretty decent. Heavily wooded, kind of overgrown in places. I mean, it really captures the look of a heritage operation. There's a lot of times heritage operations, they look just like this. They don't have the time, they don't have the money to constantly keep up with their right-of-way and whatnot to keep it all trimmed and immaculate like some of the big operations do. So it looks pretty decent. A lot of the route is just like this, heavily wooded. Got a nice bridge section here. Whoop. My computer decided to stutter. Here's a flag stop with a runaround, or kind of a passing siding for the flag stop, and a siding for general goods and such over here for, I'd assume, like this milk farm and whatnot. It's kind of cool. Opportunities for some freight. And it ends out here by a lake. with yet another small locomotive servicing facility, a storage shed for. I took the liberty of placing this thing down, because I assume that's pretty much what you would see in such a place. Something small, like a little industrial switcher or something. Then, of course, another storage siding back here, and the runaround area for the station. Now that's point A to point B. Obviously not very big, but a nice bit of detail. Not a ton of milk bottles, so it really looks quite nice given that, given what was used. So let's operate on it. Let's run a train for a little bit. Run all the way back here. We got our GWR pannier set up. Set our track up. There's the whole route in the map. Not very big. Ferndale Dairy Farm Halt. And Lakeside Head Shunt is our end. It's just called Lakeside. Destination 1. Build up our coal pile here before we get going. In typical fashion, for some wacky reason, one of the things on Victory Works models do not like to show that you can do anything with them. It's kind of frustrating. Right. Get a nice size fire going, because I do believe that this route is not actually flat. Speed limit is 25 mile an hour in usual fashion for heritage routes. But it's also not a very large route, so it's not exactly heartbreaking. It does run pretty nice. It is a bit of a challenge getting uphill, especially with a decent sized train if you opt to do so. I don't have much experience with the newest panniers from Victory Works. Bit of a learning situation with trying to run it. Might not have been my best choice, but oh well. There we go. Now we got a nice particle. Given it's a user-made route, it actually runs quite smoothly, which, not to take anybody down a peg or two, but more often than not, I find user-made routes oftentimes do not have smoothly transitioned track. But thus far, this has actually been pretty decent. Doing 24 mile an hour. 29% cut off. I cannot seem to meet any building pressure. Now we're beginning a downhill spot. Kind of nice that it does have hills. That way it's not in a perfect flat operation. You get the opportunity to make the locomotive work, and you get the opportunity to rebuild your pressure on the way back down, which is pretty nice. As you can see, our platform sizes pretty much regulate the size of train and what locomotives you use on this route. Kind of stuck with smaller things, shorter trains. That's not too bad for people that like that sort of thing like me. That was pretty smooth right there. Yeah, it's kind of an abrupt change in grade right there. Start another incline. Coming up on our stop. Spot right there. And there's our point A to point B on the Delllyn Heritage Railway. As you can see, it's not too terrible of a run. Pretty quick, pretty easy. The track could stand to be smoother in certain places, but otherwise it's actually pretty decently laid, pretty smooth overall. So I highly recommend checking it out, especially if you like the little heritage lines, little short lines like this. It's a lot of fun for these smaller locomotives and such. As I showed you, it is on the Steam Workshop. If it interests you, go check it out. It is free. Don't have to pay for it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.